all right, you know what? So the person's gonna listen or watch you say that, and then they'll let them decide for themselves. Because having that that the people that they know, if they would, let's say, be all white, right? That's not a
Or
proof of
Asian,
anything.
yeah.
You want to know. Do you know any black people in med school? Like, are they working that hard, or are they slacking off? Because according to you, if they were slacking off, they would still graduate med school.
Yeah, they'd be less likely to be ejected than someone with a similar performance who wasn't black.
Right. All right. That was just the point I wanted to bring out with her.
Okay. Did you feel at all nervous having a black doctor?
No, not at all. I wouldn't even have thought about it except for that. I felt a little bit more nervous having a woman doctor. There were two things that I had yesterday with her that I've never had before.
An erection?
No, there were two things that I had with her. One is I never had a woman doctor.
Uh-huh.
I always had male doctors, you know, and like if they're gonna like do hands-on, you know, I want it to be a guy. I don't want a woman, you know. And I asked her. I said that to her. I said, like, you know, I'm not so comfortable with like a female doctor, right? And she was like, well, I got news for you, buddy. There's no male doctors on staff today. And it's like you can't, like, you know, reserve a county. Yeah. You just, like, you get who they give you. I didn't have a problem. You would have said, hey, do you have any doctors that aren't black and just, like, you know, get a free ride during grad school? Like, somebody who's competent. I don't need you when you're voodoo. This is not a time for, like, a lesson in ebonics. You know, like, don't break into some rap here. I need someone to, like, really, like, check me. And I just waited 8 hours. And I could see you doing that. And I'm like, no, that's where I was at. Okay.
So what were the two things?
Oh, that was one of them. I never had a female doctor before. The other one is I never had
a ending before.
That was a really bizarre one. You know, she just went for it like that. You know. I never had a doctor who was younger than me.
Ah.
I guess you get to a certain age.
Was she cute?
Yeah, she was pretty cute. She was pretty cute. You know, and like, I was kind of like, okay, first of all, you know, county doesn't have old doctors.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it, right? Who do they get? They get the ones like right out of med school.
The idealists.
The ones who are still happy with their jobs, right? But they get the residents, they get the ones fresh out of school, right? Mm-hmm. Because why do you go to county as a doctor to get you get this training done so you can get a real job doing your own thing, right? You're not going to get somebody who's like 40 years old wanting to go work at county. It's not going to happen, right? You get the young ones. They use that as a stepping stone to get something in the private sector. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I've always had doctors who were older than me. I've never, I guess you get to like a certain age, and it's all going to start to change. So I got to look at the future, you know, because like, you know, they always deal with like the old people. Hello, I'm one of those old people now. You know, now I'm actually older than the doctor. So I had a young one, and she was a woman, and it was like two things I'd never seen before.
Would you have been nervous if she'd benefited from affirmative action?
Nah, I don't have those same hang-ups than you do. I don't have that. I wouldn't.
So it's not really important to you that she be competent?
Well, I didn't. Well, first of all, I don't know that she. Okay, just this is going to sound crazy, but just the fact that somebody was working in county, it doesn't matter to me if they're white or black or whatever. I'm already like
scraping the bottom of the barrel.
And we were talking about residents, right?
Yeah.
You know, like their name tags. I saw them running around. A bunch of them just says resident, and
does it say Facebook me?
You know, so like I'm more concerned about that aspect than like the color of their skin or their race or whatever. You know, it just doesn't bother me. But the good thing about the way they have it set up is there's a doctor in the like a supervising doctor, if you will, and they go who's like the diagnostician, right? So they gather all the information from you and they examine you and everything, but they don't make the call. They bring that all back, and those guys running around were all Jewish. They were all like in their 30s, so I trust the place. You know, I see some Jewish doctors in charge, and I would say like the names of them would be like three names you never heard of, and then there would be like underneath it would be like Rothman. It's like, okay, I'm safe. It's like, cause you ever been to county?
No.
Oh my God, it's like the waiting room was like all Mexicans and white trash. All Mexicans.
No blacks?
A couple of blacks, but it was like predominantly Mexicans and white, and Mexicans who didn't speak English, and just like white trash. And when I say white trash, I mean like meth addicts, came in who were like obviously on drugs. And
So
stuff.
I've never ridden the bus. I haven't ridden the bus in like 15, 16 years.
Okay.
Because you get those undesirable types who ride the bus.
Yeah, it used to be called RTD, Rapid Transit District, and we said RTD was rough, tough, and dangerous. Right? And like they put me in this bed when I was in there, and next to me was this woman, and like she was complaining about she had an abscess in her gums, right? And I'm like, she's a meth addict. You know, I'm like, she's a meth addict. It's like, you know what I mean? She had meth mouth. I think they figured it out. I think, you know what else? Another thing you get in county that you don't get anywhere else. I was like watching people walk by, right, and this guy in an orange jumpsuit with ankle and not just not just what do you call them? What do you call those things?
On their wrists.
Yeah, what do you call them? The wrist ones.
Handcuffs.
Handcuffs. God, but he also had ankle cuffs, and they were like wobbling him down the thing, you know. And there was like sheriffs walking in and out. This is where they take like all these guys, and I was like, oh my god. And you know, it must happen all the time because the nurses didn't even bat an eye. They didn't even care. They've seen it all day long. All right, so there's that. Any comments on it?
I went to a writing workshop. I started a writing workshap yesterday.
Oh, okay. How'd that go?
It was cool. We had this exercise. I need to pull it up on my blog.
Oh.
Can I pull it
Yeah.
on my blog?
There you go.
So we had this exercise where we would talk about the mask that we wear and then who we really are underneath.
Yeah.
So I said that the mask I wear is that I'm a decent, law-abiding citizen who treats other people as he wants to be treated.
Okay.
But what I try to hide is my anxiety, my fear, my insecurity, my predatory instincts, not towards children. And I try to hide how much most people disgust me, because I don't like dirty people. I don't like dumb people who don't realize they're dumb. I don't like irresponsible people. I hate drunks. I hate drug addicts. I hate people who take welfare instead of working. I hate people who take no care with their appearance. I hate people who don't take into consideration the effect they have on others. I hate ice princesses who don't talk to me and hot chicks who ignore me. And I hate people who lecture others about recycling and global warming. And I hate prissy old women who want me to clean up my writing. And so I could just go on for pages about the kind of people that I hate. And I fear that I'd meet a lot of such people, both on the bus and at LA County.
Oh, you're definitely going to meet a lot of those at county, because you know what? I'll take care of the rest. You're going to meet some of those people at county, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Because they don't have any money, right?
Yeah.
So they're like all there on Medi-Cal and you know all these things. Now you realize you do hate me, right? Because
that wasn't a new realization.
No, because the fact that I'm going to county means I'm taking money from welfare. I'm taking your tax dollars. Actually, they were my own tax dollars because I paid in the system too. But theoretically, I'm taking, I'm what do you call sucking off the public tip by going to county. You know, so you hate me too. I don't work.
So I've been reading this book on what caused this current recession, and it's talking about the housing industry. And the Federal Reserve has ranked by race who has the most loan defaults, who's like the least likely to pay back a loan. So blacks have the highest rate of loan defaults at 9%.
Okay.
Native Americans at 6%.
Okay.
Hispanics at 5%. Whites at 4%, and Asians at 3%, and made the point that the poorest Asians had higher credit scores than white people making over $75,000 a year, and the blacks making over $75,000 a year tended to have lower credit scores than poor white people. So, like these habits of paying your debts, being a responsible citizen, they're vitally important. They're culturally ingrained, and some groups have them and some groups don't. So if you were going to lend money, all other factors being equal, you'd have a far higher likelihood of getting paid back if you lent to an Asian than to a black. More likelihood of being paid back if you lent to an Asian than a white.
What about an Australian who converts because of a Jew?
I didn't have any statistics on that.
Okay, I read your book.